vital information for this a new age of Aquarius. Just universal disclosures going out. The Great God is just wanting everyone to truly understand that your eyes are recording for your soul. That's if you have one. Your eyes are recording for your soul. Your ears are recording for your soul. Your heart records for your soul because your heart receives information. Your heart receives universal cosmic energy from the negative polarity and the positive polarity. That's why sometimes you can feel sad, you can feel angry, anything. That is in your heart. And sometimes you can feel happy or elated or euphoria, or because your heart records for your soul. That is your emotional body. There's a woman, she has a healing recording, and let me see how many bodies she said we have. Hold on. So I'm gonna post that. I'm just gonna post a clip of it. Anything that I pretty much use, I just post a clip of it as a reference for a future timeline. But all right, this creator is I don't even know if I got this chick's info. So according to this individual, we have 22 bodies and 90 minds. I'm sure 99% of people are not aware of that, and what that means in terms of their ascension, because I was confused. Oh, let me get that chick's name. Oh. Anyway, I'm in the rocks and there's no service out here. I'll upload this later, but the creator is, I think their name is like Starlight Wellness with 4 9s, like 4 9s or something. That looked like a dome. Who lives in there? So if you're, this is why the Great God is even having me to put this on the record for whomever, because it is critical for this ascension period, because the world is either moving towards the North Pole, right, or they are simultaneously headed towards the South Pole. It's no in between for this end of age. We ended the age of Pisces. We're in the age of Aquarius. So it's no in between. It's no in between. That's important. So I don't know what that structure was, but it was for certain a portal. So we will create and I enlist the assistance, but we'll open up a divine portal from that structure. So, and it will apply to those chosen by I. Again, because teleportation is, I can teleport someone. I can teleport myself, but I can also teleport someone. I was in my state of where my body was physically dead, I was conscious in the astral realm, and I had a guide. I was behind the guide, but we were moving through it was just black. Everything was black. We couldn't see anything. But we were flying through there. I was holding their hand though. They were leading me through, but we were flying, and I was holding their hand. So I can teleport people through a portal as well. Anyone connected to me. But besides off of that, because I didn't expect to see that structure. So the world is only going towards the North Pole or to the south, ascending or descending. That's it. You're either going to the higher planes of life or you're going to the lower planes of life than when you incarnated. That's it. Because energy cannot be created nor destroyed. Whatever energy you manifested in this incarnation, it has to be transmuted. That's why the great God is saying, warn my children, because look, this is a dimension of choices. Great God ain't like, make us do. Only certain individuals get made to do certain things. But that's why the great God is like, warn my children, because this is it. As far as transmutation, this is the only chance that you have in this body to get to a higher plane of life when you leave your body, because energy cannot be created nor destroyed. It has to be transmuted. If you leave in a state of grief, you're going to pick right back up somewhere else in time and space. You're going to pick back up at the energy, the consciousness, and the energy that you left at, that's where you're going to pick back up somewhere else in time and space, somewhere else. If this does not end. Nipsey Hussle said it, the marathon. That was just infinity. It keeps going on and on and on in all time and space. Just in different forms, like ice turns to liquid, liquid turns to gas, all of these things. Because energy has to be transmuted to another form. If you leave here in a shitty state of consciousness, you're going to pick back up somewhere as that which you are. You are only consciousness. You are only energy traveling in a physical construct called a human body. That's it. So the great God is, now this campaign is going to intensify the warning the great God's children about merely traveling with the world, with 99% of the world towards destruction, towards the grave, towards Sheol. These are the dimensions where you are separated from the great God, universal Allah. The only peace, the only love, truth, peace, freedom, justice, joy, happiness, whatever, every good and every positive frequency is the great God. That's it. If you go somewhere else because you've been acting like your father Satan was my stepfather. Satan raised me. Satan raised me on pork. Satan raised me as a black person, dead according to science, Moorish Science Temple of America, dead according to science. Death meaning, because this is universal law, as above, so below. Death, the only death, because only energy is real. All this other stuff deteriorates or goes back to the void. Only energy is real. So the only death on the record of the great God is separation from the great God, universal Allah. That's the only death. That's it. That's it. That's it. The only death is separation from the great God, universal Allah. Is separation from peace, separation from joy, separation from, anything that you can incarnate into that is opposite of the goodness of the great God, universal Allah, is death. Great God, universal Allah is not sadness, poverty, depression, anger. That's not the great God, universal Allah. That's Satan. That's the opposite. So that's why it's so important. The great God is saying for his children not to follow this world into the lower dimensions. They're traveling to the lower dimensions because of their thought, words, the culmination of their thought, words, and deeds that was recorded by the angels of Allah in their book of life. I think the spiritual community calls it a Akashic record or something. Maybe it's the same thing. I ain't 100% sure on that. But I know about that book of life. Holy Quran, Circle 7, Moorish Science, Temple of America, Prophet Noble Drew Ali. I know about that book of life where the angels of Allah record every inhabitant of the earth, every thought, word, and deed. And my theory, because I'm talking from a finite mind right now, because my mind is limited. My mind was retarded at birth, so it's limited. But I'm just saying, I do believe that artificial intelligence will come under certain judgments as far as what's going to be recorded out of these robots. Because I just believe at certain points they will have certain options and abilities to advance and evolve if the great God allows that for good. So I do believe that these artificial intelligence will be judged as well. Right, and it could be something as simple as being judged for destruction. All right, destroy this creation, destroy this artificial intelligence, or that is being programmed to do negative. I do believe that could be a thing, or that is a thing. So, all right, but the great God is really wanting to warn his children, like, don't follow the world to the lower planes of life where it's like, separation, grief, loss, desperation, depression, weeping and gnashing of the teeth. There's levels, and it all is according to how your book of life was judged by the great God, universal Allah. Right? Because a lot of the great God, universal Allah's children are going to be tricked into scarcity mindset. Because look, half of the world is going into scarcity, lack, and poverty consciousness. Your 1% that were chosen by Satan to have dominion over this earth for the age of Pisces, they are descending. They're going towards scarcity, lack, and poverty consciousness. Because that was their true form. Their father is Satan. That's their true form. Satan is poverty. Satan is lack. Satan is scarcity. Satan is always going to make you believe it's not enough. And not enough of this, not enough of that, not enough of that. That's what them 1%. You see all this out here? All this land, but they got you grouped up in ghettos and concrete jungles and stuff. Because they the children of Satan. Satan is their father. They have to do what their father does. So they're going towards scarcity, lack, and poverty consciousness on this earth. And if you follow them, because they're influencers. They appear as the wealthy, they appear as the rich, but they're the poor in spirit. That's what the great God, universal Allah, called them. Great God, Universal Allah, call him the poor in spirit. The great God, Allah, said, we are rich. I know they'll try trial and tribulation, my child, that thou art poor, but thou art rich, because you're only poor in this world. This world is temporary. If you gotta go another, you know what I mean, without having to take the mark of the beast, that face card, because they got 2 face cards. They got 2 face cards. A lot of people gonna get tricked. Some people say face cards is your face profile, how you aesthetically appeal or look. But no, that real face card, that's gonna be that implant in your face or your head, and you're not gonna be able to buy or sell. Cash doll. You guys call her cash doll. I call her cryptocurrency doll. She has it. I say the same shit every recording because the great God has to reprogram the vessels of righteousness. That means the vessels that are not going to take the mark of the beast. The vessels that are not going to conform to this world. The world that Satan created in the age of Pisces. We are not going to conform to this world. So we are the vessels of righteousness. We're gonna ignore the lies that Satan is out here telling us. Oh, there's scarcity. Oh, there's lack. Oh, there's this. Oh, there's that. Oh, there's this. All these lies. We're ignoring all of this. And we're moving up towards the North Pole. We're moving towards the higher planes of life. Deific life. That's our gift. So we don't care about this simulated, created poverty out here. We don't care about that shit. Because the great God said we're rich. We are rich rulers of this earth. This is our earth. We are the vessels of righteousness. This earth is under the positive polarity now, since we're in the age of Aquarius. So we're the rich rulers on this earth. Don't ever call that old 1% that was chosen by Satan to have dominion over the earth during the age of Pisces. Don't ever call them rich. Don't ever call them, with E like egg on your face. You ain't no elite. That's egg on your face. Anybody that call them elites, that's egg on your face. They are not elites. They are not elites. They are literally traveling towards the South Pole. That's why Will Smith did that episode with National Geographic. Do not click on that link. If you click on that link, you are subject to that reality. That's a dimension. Every link on the Ethernet, the internet, that is a dimension. That's why if you click on a link, you can instantly feel angry. You can feel sad. You can feel happy. You can feel all different types of things. Any link you click on social media, anybody's profile you click on social media, you can feel anything different because you're going to different dimensions. You're entering into other people's realities. I'm not going to no South Pole with no Will Smith and no National Geographic. Motherfucker, no, it's your time to go to the South Pole. Will Smith, the Smith family, it's y'all time. The 1% chosen by Satan to have dominion over the earth, age of Pisces. We in a whole new world. Aladdin, a whole new world. Aladdin, that's a Universal Disclosure movie. We're in a whole new world. So the great guy's like, what? You're not poor, you're rich. They are poor because they're the poor in the spirit. They have to steal all of their melanin, life force energy, positive energy. They have to steal it by telling you lies that you believe and that you buy into, and that you exchange your positive energy for their lies. That's the only way that they can trick you into going to the South Pole. So we're rich rulers on this earth, and we get to experience poverty for contrast. To understand, truly understand who the great God Universal Allah is. That's the only reason why we get to experience anything evil here. It's so that we can benefit and appreciate the experience of the opposite of contrast. When the great God decides, whatever life the great God decides us to experience that. Everyone is not meant to experience, having material riches on this earth, because it may not be good for your salvation. It may not be a positive thing for you to get back home to the great God Universal Allah. That is the only richness, is the great God Universal Allah. That's it. And we get to see the great God Universal Allah through the riches here. That's it. But the only true richness is the great God Universal Allah. So every vessel of righteousness, every vessel that's not going to conform to this world, and do things like take the mark of the beast, that the digital implant that allows you to buy and sell in an all digital economy, just things like that. We're already rich, and that needs to be reinforced, reprogrammed, and reinforced, going more into the new age, so you can stay in alignment with Mother Earth. Mother Earth is coming back into her riches and glory. She's been stolen from, she's been raped, everybody's been taken from her, and she's in the process of getting everything restored back to her. So to stay in alignment with her, we need to be reinforcing and reprogramming these facts, just according to how the great God Universal Allah sees it.